Would you like to ride a roller coaster from morning till midnight? Splash in some of America's greatest indoor water parks and resorts? Enjoy fishing in the most fertile walleye and perch waters on Great Lakes? Or cruise on a ferry boat to a scenic, relaxing Lake Erie island named Kelly's or Put in Bay? If so, you should join the more than 7 million people who choose the shores and islands of Erie County as their destination for boating, canoeing, bird watching, kayaking, and much more. Erie County is also home to Cedar Point, America's roller coaster, and Kalahari Resort, America's largest indoor water park.
City of Sandusky and its citizens usually value the shoreline as its greatest, a tribute to bringing the population of people and boaters into the area as far as a revenue source.
Well, obviously we have Cedar Point when you come to Erie County and Sandusky, but we also have a nice Metro Parks system. We have Old Woman's Creek to the east of us. That's a nice place to take a walk. And then to stick your toes into the lake, you go out to Shelton's Marsh, east of town, and you can walk about a mile down to the lake and be a nice beach. It's not too crowded, and you could see Lake Erie up close.
You know, Erie County is such a wonderful place and a diverse place. We've worked very hard through our visitor center to get the message out to the world that we are a one-week destination. As a kid growing up here in the community, it was a one-day. In fact, most of the people would come to Cedar Point and a lot of them would drive home that evening. As Cedar Point has continued to expand, and now with the addition of water parks and the development of the various islands that we have around here, we're really trying to promote the area as a one-week, as we call ourselves, the Disney World of Ohio.
Erie County is a great coastal community to live and play in, with over 56 miles of shoreline on Lake Erie. Lake Erie and clean waters are the driving forces behind our great communities. And because we are a coastal community, we are greatly affected by the health of our water. We depend on clean water for our drinking water sources, food sources, local jobs, boating, and recreation.
I think it's pretty obvious we value the water. Drinking water as well as recreational use. We have a lot of tourism, and the water recreation brings in as well on the tourism.
Lake Erie is quite amazing because it is the shallowest of the Great Lakes, but also the most productive. We are called the walleye capital of the world for a reason. We depend on clean water in Lake Erie not only for its great fishing, but for local jobs and economic value from the tourism here in Erie County.
I don't see how a visitor can't have fun in Erie County. I mean, there's so much to do: Cedar Point, Kalahari, Great Wolf, water, the islands, beaches. I don't know how you can't have fun.
I think the county and community values, we have good integrity here. It's still a small community. A lot of people know each other, and I think they want to have a good, safe environment and keep it available for others to enjoy. A lot of our land butts up to the lake, and we have a lot of recreation and a lot of opportunities there, and I think a lot of people want to make that available and have it be open to the public to use.
We want to make sure that we can sustain the tourism industry, economy, and clean water that will affect our way of life here in Erie County. One of the biggest challenges we face in our efforts to protect Erie County and our clean water is pollution. Pollution can come from a variety of sources, including stormwater runoff.
I'm Kurt Hyman. I'm a farmer, and I've been a supervisor for the Erie Soil and Water since '89. I I think the two biggest ones are sedimentation and dissolved nutrients in the water. That's the two that I'm most concerned about. Since agriculture is 80-90% of topography, a lot of it comes from agriculture just by default. There's still a lot of things we can do to help that. I don't think we're there yet.
I think some of the threats, I would say the biggest threat is probably apathy toward our water. Again, it's a valuable resource that we should be protecting, and I think also we have some issues with some aging infrastructures and just ways of keeping up with the growing populations.
Some of the threats that we're experiencing right now in our local waterways is non-point source pollution based. We have excessive nutrients that come in from stormwater runoff and also excessive sediment. And our loss of habitat has really threatened our water from being able to cleanse itself.
The two main threats I think we have right now are the algae blooms that have been coming back every year, and the water runoff, the stormwater runoff that ends up in the lake.
Well, I think it eliminates, for example, in economic development, it detracts from Lake Erie, and it really stops us from enjoying the lake. And I think down the road it's going to be a health issue that we need to address right away. And some people are blaming agriculture and some people are blaming residential, and I think the jury is out as to where that actually lies, or where the problem lies.
After a rain event, water can run over impervious surfaces such as roadways and parking lots and pick up pollution such as heavy metals, oils, grease, trash, debris, and more. It then goes to the storm sewers, which do not get treated and are deposited directly into our waterways in Lake Erie. Some communities have a combined system where the storm and sewer drains both go to a treatment plant. But if a storm event is too large for our underground system, it can cause flooding and combined sewer overflows, which means it can be deposited into our waterways before the water can be treated.
When I think of stormwater, I think of a resource, and not necessarily a resource that we're taking full advantage of. It's always been our mindset to try to get rid of stormwater, get it off of our property as quickly as possible. But there are some things like underground irrigation systems and other things like that where we can actually use stormwater, maintain it, and reduce the requirement for other water sources. So I would like to see us start to think about stormwater more as a resource than an irritant.
Here at Perkins Township, we're managing our water through a couple different methods. The stormwater, the roof runoff in particular, and the parking lot runoff goes into a pervious pavement. That concrete is essentially a concrete without the fines in the mix. The purpose of that is to allow water to infiltrate directly into that pavement. It goes into a stone base underneath it and allows it to percolate into the soil underneath. We do have some underdrain lines in that pervious pavement that any overflow that needs to flow out of that pavement to keep the water from coming up into the concrete itself will flow through those underdrains out into a storm system that empties into a stormwater swale that we have here on site, and that swale allows the water to sit and further percolate into the soil.
Erie County is doing its part to protect our water resources, and so can you.
Our community has a recycling drop-off location for not just recycling but also for batteries. We provide residents with 2 times a year. They provide a free trash day, which helps promote them not illegally dumping on locations. They also limit the amount of salt they use in our roads to protect our water. And we have like a zoning inspector, and he comes out to our sites, monitors construction sites, makes sure the homeowner is doing what they're supposed to be doing. We also have Ritter Library. They have a green construction of their building. They have pervious pavement. They have a green roof. They have automatic flushing toilets. If you talk to them, they'll give you a tour as well.
Some of the things this community does to help promote clean water is it does protect its environment around the water. It is monitoring the water to see its changes, and so we can help create better methods of living so we don't pollute and we get to keep our water.
People can get involved starting right at home, just making sure that they're doing proper stewardship, trying to reduce the amount of stormwater running off their property with rain barrels or rain gardens, making sure that they're picking up after their pet. If they'd like to actually volunteer at large, there's plenty of restoration projects and cleanup projects that they can participate in, or even get involved with one of the local friends groups.
I think now that it's become more aware, conservation in regards to water. I mean, whether you're buying new toilets, new washers and dryers. You know, I just bought a new washer and dryer at home and my water bill went in half, and I was amazed. My wife says, hey, our water bill went from $130 to $75. I'm saying, wow. So even though it's a way of life through the industry is trying water conservation, there are other things that they can do, because even if you go along and you get involved with some of the team efforts, cleaning up along Pike Creek, Friends of Pike Creek or areas like that, just picking up things along the waterway, even when you're out just hiking or whatever, that's how you can get involved. It doesn't take much to get involved.
I love to go, even to this day, just go to the waterfront and look at the water, smell the water, smell the air coming in, the fishy smell in the morning, the look of the water when it's like glass, the look of the water when a storm's blowing in. All those things are just tremendous.
My favorite experience with the water is Sandusky Bay. Every Wednesday night I race my sailboat out on this bay. So I'm here from May to the end of September every Wednesday, so I'm on the water every week. So I'm very cognizant of what the water looks like.
I was a child, one of the things that was extremely important to our family was being able to go to Cedar Point, have a picnic, and swim out in Lake Erie. And I'm hoping that we can continue to do that if we can continue to keep Lake Erie as clean as it should be.
My name is Crystal Diamonds. I am the Stormwater Program Coordinator for Erie County, Ohio. When looking at stormwater, I hope that people realize that we all need water. It's everyone's responsibility to make sure that we protect and conserve our natural resources, including water. In Erie County, we have a Clean Water Coalition, and it's made up of elected officials, county agencies, and public citizens. Our goal is to look at solutions for clean water. Some of these goals include low-impact development, creating education programs for the public, and working with local decision makers such as planning commissions and zoning officials to make sure that our laws and codes reflect the community's values. That includes looking at clean water. Whether you're an elected official, a homeowner, or a business owner, here are a few things you can do.
Build a rain barrel or rain garden to reduce runoff. Check for spills and leaks on vehicles and boats, and make sure to clean them up properly. Don't dump pollution down storm drains. Use best management practices for construction sites. Be sure to develop your local community in a way that reduces impacts to our natural resources. Educate others and get involved. Check out our website, eriecleanwater.com, or visit the Soil and Water Conservation District for more information.